It's bourbon night. Hold on, let me turn on the lights. Boom. There we go. Sometimes I just like to,
be dramatic.
be dramatic. Hold on, we're a little hotter than we normally are.
Are we? I don't know.
Audio wise.
Oh. Are we also darker than we normally are?
No.
Okay.
That should be the same.
All right. Well, there we go.
I guess. I don't know.
What's going on? Happy Sunday. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, I see what happened.
Oh, I see what happened. There we go.
Our audio controller went out in the field this weekend and some knobs got turned. So
some things got turned.
That should be more like it. La 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 la. Yeah, there. Good. How's everyone doing? We went to the Kentucky Bourbon Festival this weekend.
Yes.
And we're both starting off this stream with a hot toddy that you made us.
I made hot toddies because we talked a lot. I mean, I don't know if you can hear it. My voice is very strained. We've been talking basically since Thursday. Well, Wednesday night when we did our stream. And so the voice box is had a little more stress on it than normal. So I was really feeling a hot toddy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did a Wednesday stream for Patreon. We did a drink through of our last 3 single barrel picks, which ended up being 4 bottles because of the new loser 2. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we did that Wednesday. Then Thursday we went to Bardstown, Kentucky, which is where we stayed up until today, and attended the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. First time that we've done
the whole
shebang. That's right. So
they said it is dark.
It's a little dark.
That's what they're saying. It's dark. I don't know how. It looks fine on there.
Yeah, but that runs a little.
Oh, well.
Lighter anyway. One moment, I'll fix it.
I guess chat's gonna fix it. Goodbye.
There's a dog in my way.
Well, don't step on her. Yeah, so we got invited. They did give us media passes, which was really nice because we were able to go to more things and just kind of get the lay of the land. But they've done a lot of revamping. The last festival was in 2019. And since then, obviously, they didn't have it last year. But they've done some revamping, reworked some events. I think they got a lot of feedback. I don't know if you know, but this was their 30th anniversary. So they've been doing it for a long time. And I think the general consensus was it was in need of a refresh. And we can't weigh in on that too much because we hadn't really been before. But I know we had been to one of the main events that they do, which was like a bourbon gala, which we went to with the Aussies, who I don't know if they're in the chat. It's early their time. We went to that with them in maybe 2018, 2017, 2018. And it was, we got copped tickets for that kindly from some friends, but I remember thinking it was a black tie event. The tickets were expensive. And while you got to try a lot of great whiskey, I remember thinking if I was out at the festival all day in the sun, I don't know that I would want to get all dolled up and then come out to this. Like, it was just a lot. So I think that they kind of got some feedback from the people who'd been coming for a long time and decided to make some changes, which I think that it all really went well. I think, in the future they'd love to open it up to more people. They had to limit tickets this year due to COVID. But I think in the future they'd love to open it up more. So yeah, we had a good time. We saw some, sexy shorts chat. Brian says they're having hot toddies. Isn't that your stage name, Todd Koopa? Hot toddy. That's toddy.
Hilarious. Yes, thank you.
Thanks for letting us know about the lighting.
Enjoying my shorts. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess something got also switched in the camera this weekend. But yeah, we were out there. Sorry, I was in lighting mode, so I didn't completely hear.
I pretty much gave the whole story that we were out there.
All right, cool. Now we'll kind of do like a breakdown of day-to-day and kind of share some things. And if you see this, that's just the remnants of a Four Roses tattoo. So,
Yeah.
There you go. That's what that
This
is.
is tasty. This is actually really nice.
Do you want to tell them? I mean, pretty simple. But
it's very simple. I mean, if you've made a hot toddy before, this is not groundbreaking. I don't always measure things exactly because sometimes I just eyeball it. But I just filled the glass up most of the way with water. It's probably not the best way to do it. I microwaved it because we were short on time, but I would normally do it in a kettle. Basically, like made a glass of tea, but I used the orange spice black tea. If you're familiar with it, it's the same one that I used for the Southern Old Fashioned simple syrup. So it was that. Lemon juice, about half of a small lemon, so a third of a big lemon. Probably a tablespoon of honey and 2 ounces of our Knob Creek rye pick. So it's stout. It doesn't taste stout, though. It's actually really nice.
Yeah, I enjoy it. And it's hitting the spot, honestly. And we have some other things that, I don't know. I think you said you might just be sticking to the hot toddy tonight.
I might just be having a hot toddy tonight. We've been drinking since Wednesday night, so I could use a little break. Not that this isn't drinking.
We have other glasses here. I might, partake. But it does take a while to drink a hot toddy because it's hot. But
I'm like,
yeah.
It's very cozy and comforting. Anytime I have like strained voice or sore throat or any kind of tickle going on, sinuses and stuff. And I always tell people, I don't know if it's that it really does help me feel better or if it makes me forget that I feel bad.
Yeah.
So there's that.
There you go. So tonight, we'll be regaling you with how things went, and we'll also love to take questions, and that's sort of going to be tonight's format instead of reviewing bottles and so forth.
Los Angeles TV says, did you guys hear about the TikTok barrel pick? No, what's that? I'd love to hear more.
No.
I have not heard of this. Yeah.
TikTok barrel pick.
Intriguing.
Hey, we got Perry. Perry in the chat. Hey, Perry. I guess we can do what's news real quick because we do have a few things that are new. We have some...
this sweatshirt and this hot toddy, though. They don't really go together.
Some beautiful samples from Dan and Julie Lifetime Whiskey here on YouTube. If you haven't checked them out, go check them out.
Such nice people.
Yeah, we have some lovely samples here that we'll have to crack into, including an Old Carter American Whiskey Batch 4. Nice 139.6 proof. And... where are you? This is a pick from Fiddler. This is one we haven't had before. This is cast strength single barrel, which is 57.8% from Atlanta, Georgia. And this one comes to us from Tom McCoven. Hope I'm saying that right, McCoven. Sparty _on_bourbon, if you want to follow him.
Sparty
there on the social medias. Yeah, this is a D&W Whiskey Society single barrel pick. So looking forward to cracking that open.
Yes, that'll be good. I'm looking forward to that for the long-term best whiskey from each state project that we're working on.
We also got the Bottled and Bond version of the Kirkland Leader of bourbon. This is Barton. They're master distillers. That's what they say.
Very nice.
Yeah. So we'll see.
We'll
crack that open at some point.
Tom wants to know, did we score a Four Roses limited release? No, we did not, but we actually saw Brent Elliott at the... And we've seen each other so many times over the years since we've been doing this. Like, we run into him. We've done events with him and stuff.
We're like old buddies.
Well, I'd like to think of us that way. And so we saw him, and he asked us the same question. He was like, you guys got that, right? And we were like, we didn't. And he was like, disappointed in himself. He was like, I need to check that PR list for you guys. And I was like, Brent, that's not your job. Like, thank you so much. You're so sweet. But I was like, please don't feel bad.
He's just such a sweetheart.
Because you have enough on your plate. He's such a sweetheart. Like,
he's a good guy.
Honestly, I could hang out with him any day.
It just makes us love Four Roses even more. Not that they don't already put out amazing stuff, but Brent's a real cool dude.
Brent's a cool dude.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Who just asked that? John wants to know what's the hot toddy recipe again. Maybe I will put it in the comments or pin it down afterwards.
Sure.
But yeah, just a cup full of water, microwave it or get a kettle on with whatever tea you prefer. I used the orange spice black tea. 2 ounces of bourbon of your choice. I used Knob Creek rye, a barrel pick of ours.
115 proof.
And about a tablespoon of honey and half a lemon. If it's a small lemon. If it's a big lemon, then do a third and use that other third to make little wheels.
What's your, what ounces did you end up going with on the rye?
2.
2 ounces
did I not say?
of 115 proof.
No.
Yeah.
It was...
Our pick.
Is it 100?
Of Knob Creek
Really?
rye? Yeah, 115
Sips
proof.
tea.
It's coaster, man.
It's not quite hot toddy season where we are. It's still pretty hot outside.
It's not sweather weather.
Hot this weekend. Exhausting.
It's mainly just for the
Heat.
voice.
It's for the voice.
Yeah.
Gotta take care of it.
Gotta take care of our instrument.
Yeah. So, let's see, when did we start? We started on Thursday.
Well, here, let's answer this question real quick. How does
Okay.
one send you samples? Best thing to do is to email us. It's bourbonnight@gmail.com.
Yes.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Thursday. Go ahead, Sarah. Take us away. Paint us a picture.
Okay. We got there on Thursday. We got access to all the special sessions that they were doing. It was originally supposed to be at Bardstown Bourbon Company, but they had to move it, and then they had to move it again because there was some flooding
Yeah, they
on
had
Wednesday.
5 inches of rain like that.
So that was problematic. But we ended up being like on blacktop under a tent, which was nice. It was cool. And so we did, the first session was with, I'm trying to go back in my mind. The first session was with Bardstown Bourbon Company,
yeah.
John and Danny from Bardstown.
Yep.
And they took us through a really cool,
Like sensory.
I would call it a sensory exercise. It was talking about proof, mash bill, and aroma. So they had a bunch of stuff out on the table. Like everyone had a whole, looked like a little, not a chemistry set, but a whole thing spread out in front of them.
Paraphernalia.
Yes. Multiple samples. So they had first cup was a tea. They wanted to teach you about tannins, and so you sip the tea.
It was like a super
steeped.
Steeped tea, like 20 times, I think.
And something like, for a long time.
Yeah.
I think it was overnight, like 12 hours or something. And so it would, when you sip it, that tea that strong activates, like, it almost makes you feel like it's really dry. But their point was not to teach, like, to try to teach the difference between what is dryness from a whiskey and what is, like, tannins that you're getting from the oak. So we learned about that first. And then we did a nosing exercise. We did a tasting exercise between a rye and a wheat mash bill. That was really cool. Then we did a nosing exercise where there was, like, 2 metal containers that you were supposed to close your eyes, open them, and then identify the scent, the dominant scent, and then pair it to either the rye or the wheat whiskey, which was cool. And then, what was the last thing that we did? Was that it?
Yeah.
I think it was. So,
Yeah.
it was really good.
Yeah.
And then we did 2 more sessions that day with Pinhook. One was just tasting their vertical, which was nice. Because, honestly, that's the first time I've done that with them. Compare their bottles side by side.
Yeah, 2, 3, 4, and 5 year. All stuff that was, I think they said, stored out at Castle and Key.
Yes.
In their warehouses. And
So we kind of just got to see.
and we did a ranking type of thing. We each had a sheet like this, and I don't know, it's hard to see there on camera.
But there's
you have aroma, and it lists things under the aroma. But what they wanted us to do was only pick the most dominant aroma, and then you would rank it 1 to 10. How pronounced is it? Then how complex are the aromas in the whiskey? And then you kind of do the same thing for the taste. And then you rank the balance and you'd rank the finish.
Yeah, so it kind of help you figure out, I guess how you're feeling about it. And which one you're liking. And then the next, and that was all led by Sean, who works there. And then the next session he led as well, which was a blending session. And so we basically got 5 different, 5 different samples.
Yeah.
From them, 5 different single barrels, because their approach is to usually do like a blend of 3 barrels at a time, or 3 batches, I guess. They would take things.
3 batches of 10 barrel
which are all
lots?
like similar.
Is that what he called them?
Lots, basically.
Yeah. And so that's interesting. So you pair them 10 barrels at a time, because basically didn't he use like the 100 barrel example, if 100 barrels are going into this blend, you would 10 by 10 by 10 by,
Because he can't, I guess the thing is, like, when you're making, it's hard to taste 100, and then you have infinite combinations, right? So he tries to, like, group them, and then
to take the
batch them, I guess.
possibilities
or
down.
Block them.
Yeah, block them. That's what he called them, blocks.
Yeah.
So we were basically doing that of our 5, and we brought them back home with us because
they said we could keep them, and we were like, who doesn't like a sample bottle?
We had some left, and the cool thing is these are actually bourbon from Castle and Key, which I think this might be the first time we've had bourbon from Castle and Key.
Right.
These are all...
Well, except for when we tasted them during the Get Vertical. I guess that would have been, the 5 and 6-year-old, that would have been other juice, though.
Yeah, probably the 4 also.
Because this was all,
these are
2?
These are all a little over 2, between 2 and 3 years old. Well, actually, they're all the exact same age. They came from the same place.
Same date.
Like barrels right next to each other. Same distillate, same barrel date, same everything.
So we got to experiment with blending, and people got to shout out their suggestions, and we voted on the best ones. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and then we had another one like this that we also filled out.
It helped you when you were trying to decide which 3 to blend together, because you could look at your sheet and think about the complementary, flavor notes, the complementary aromas.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. I really liked it. It was like a small class, maybe like, I would say 20 to 30 people. So really small, manageable. Everyone's very intent on learning.
Let's do some super chats here.
Sting the third.
Take a little pause. Yeah, Sting the third saying, shout IBN, or maybe shout out. And shout out to Dub Bears. Hashtag Bears, hashtag drink more bourbon. Thank you for that, Sting the third. And then Joseph Brazo.
He said, your weekend sounds better than mine.
Aww.
It was hot.
Yeah, it was hot. It was hot. So for those two, thank you.
Yeah, you're having issues with that coaster.
Man.
I will say it was pretty hot. Thankfully, most of the festival was in the shade. I literally just hid from the sun. But about noon to 3 or 4 o'clock every day was pretty rough. So I drank more cocktails than I normally would at a whiskey event like that, because I just was like, I need something with ice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Thursday night then, they opened up, they did what's called Bourbon in the Air, and they did a catered dinner out like in the grand tent, and opened up the whole Great Lawn area where all of the vendors, I guess you would say, like all the craft, arts and crafts people, but then also all of the distilleries that had their tents or their booths set up, were there just pouring. So the difference was on Friday and Saturday, you had tickets or like little coupons, I guess, to get a certain number of pours per day. And then on Thursday night, it was kind of a open season. So that was from 7 to 10. So we ate and we walked around and tried a bunch of stuff. Got some good footage. That was fun.
Yeah, I would.
I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, if you're thinking about going,
it was cooler.
I would say Bourbon in the Air is a must. I would make sure to be there for that Thursday to experience that, because that was...
The dinner was good. They had music.
Cool.
It was really nice.
Yeah, that was a really good kickoff.
Yeah, so we finished that up, and then I think we headed home after that. Home to the hotel.
I can't remember.
Went back to the hotel and got up the next morning and did it all again.
Did it all over again.
Mostly the next 2 days were really just kind of the same. They had a nice VIP area that was, or like also for media to go, that was in what's called Spalding Hall, which is like right next to that Great Lawn. So you would just take an elevator up, and they had like a small, I mean, it was a pretty big area, but for, a smaller group of people, where there was a bar up there, you could get pours without tickets, and they had food all the time, and it was AC, so you could relax. That was nice. Yeah. So basically we started every morning there, and then we would go around to as many booths as we could get to, and just, have little samples, and mostly we try to focus on the craft booths those 2 days, because we wanted, not a lot of people know their stories, and I think that they need their stories told more so than the big guys. Like, it was nice to spend time with them too, and sample their stuff.
Yeah, there's our Australian friends right there. They are in the chat.
We were talking about the Bourbon Gala from a few years ago, but there's no more. There's no more of that.
Not really missing that. It was cool to go that one time.
But paying, it's just hard when it's black tie and you have to like buy an outfit, and you have to, for me, do all the hair, do all the makeup, get the shoes and all that stuff, and then you got to pay for the tickets, and it's just a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea, but in combination with all those other events, it's like, it's just a lot. You know, to ask of people.
For sure.
It's a bit exhausting. So I'm not sad that they did away with it.
We also saw some of you all.
We saw a lot of you guys. It was so fun.
Tried to kind of.
Are you gonna read off all those names? Please don't. No, please don't.
I mean, that's why I took it down. I wanted to give people a shout out.
That's a long list. All right. Well, if you don't want to hear this list, then fast forward 5 minutes.
We talked with Diane and Brian, Ian. We met Charles, the Bourbon Man. We follow him. Dave and Diane. We saw Greg.
Bourbon Finds
again,
on
Bourbon
Instagram.
Finds, and we saw Brandon, Daily Dram.
Daily Dram on Instagram.
Jeff and Roxy, Tree, David, Jeff, Carolyn, or Corlin? Corlin, yeah. Eric and Kevin from Exploring Whiskey, Brian and Clara, Jeff. We got to meet Adam from Rabbit Hole in the flesh. Then I just have some notes in here, so that's why I'm skipping. PJ and Rick, Dave, Lisa,
patron.
Jason and Kelly, patrons. Brandon, Frank, Darren, Neil and Melanie, Zach, Doug and Dan, Scott and Jake.
From the Bourbon
Lens, yep. Richie and Shelly, Lee and...
Oh, yeah, Lee from Log Still. She works for the PR for Log Still Distillery, and her husband had us out with Wally Dant. We thought we were going... That was Friday night. We thought we were going as part of like a larger media group. They were like, nope, it's just you.
Yeah,
we wanted to have you out to hang, get an interview with Wally.
We'll have to talk about that. Matt, Brian, and Sherry. Sorry.
Goodness gracious.
Greg and Christina, Justin, Jason,
I saw Christina
Chris.
in the chat.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah.
Nathan, Mike, Stephanie, Sean and Kimber, Austin, Michael and Courtney, Krista, and Matt.
He did it. That was like under 2 minutes, right? I hope our numbers didn't wane in that time.
Yeah, and
they deserved a shout out. We tried, you know, in the past. It's. I know they're really bad right now. It's always, I would say a challenge, I guess, to meet people when you're on the go like that at a festival type of event, because we see so many names. I hear so many names, see so many faces over the course of a couple of days while it's hot and we're drinking and running around trying to film as well.
Yeah.
That, sometimes things get lost in the mix, and we hate that because every person that we meet is important to us, because like the people who watch are the reason that it goes, right? So Chad did a really good job, but we made a huge effort to spend time with every person, though. Like every person who was like, hey, Chad and Sarah, we were like, tell us where you're from, what brought you here, what's been your favorite thing so far. We really want to get to know people.
Yeah. We also hung out with Jeremy from Justin's House Bourbon, the Justins.
Jeremy.
Yeah.
I'm like...
From Justin's House of Bourbon. We ran into him the most of all people. Jeremy. All right, Sarah's gone bye-bye.
Who's Jeremy?
Sarah's gone bye-bye now. The Justins. Who else did we run into that we knew? Lots of people.
See, my brain is fried because of the heat and because of, when you sleep in a hotel, sometimes it's just not the same. And like, it wasn't so bad. Like, the hotel was fine, but it's just not the same as your own bed. So I haven't gotten great sleep, but I've been cooked by the heat, and the alcohol hasn't helped either. So also this hot toddy's kicking in. As somebody commented earlier, at the rate I'm going, I'll be, double hot toddy or something. Sarah with an H.
Yeah.
Sean Dobbins, who took
Sean
our
right
picture.
Cheers, Chad and Sarah. Kimber and I loved getting to meet and chat with you all yesterday, hoping to make it to Bourbon on the Banks next.
We'll have a booth.
So, too.
We want to see you.
And then
if you make it.
Joey Tony Bag of Donuts saying, hello, IBN. I wasn't feeling much like drinking tonight till I saw your toddies. So I'm having a simple, basic, old-fashioned
with the tiki bitters.
Cheers.
Cheers. I'll give you a cocktail. Cheers. Oh, that was awful.
Weird. Okay, a cowbell cheers then. There we go.
That was bad.
Thank
it just
you both.
Bud. This is helping. Again, I don't know if it's the 2 ounces of 115 proof Knob Creek rye. that's helping so much as it is the fact that it's very soothing. I feel fine. I mean, I'm just tired from the lack of sleep
and Caroline.
And drinking. Obviously, Caroline, who did a session about vintage whiskey and stole the show. I mean, honestly, the guys, everyone cheered for her when it was like her and 3 guys on this panel, 2 or 3 guys. And when they were introducing everybody, everyone cheers for Caroline, who's our friend from Justin's House of Bourbon. And the guys were like, well, guess we might as well just let you talk. Like, should we even be here? She really stole the show. I mean, she knows her stuff. If you ever get a chance to go do a tasting with her or anything, highly recommend it. She's extremely knowledgeable.
Yeah.
And I like her, so.
Yeah, so as you said, we tried to focus more on the craft portion of the grounds this year, and we tried a lot of great things that we hadn't tried before.
Definitely.
Too many
we call
to
it
try
research
to,
for you guys.
To try to kind of, remember and talk about now. But let's see. Okay, so yeah, we did leave the premises twice. The first one was to go to a launch of Wiseman Bourbon, which is Kentucky Owl. Which it's hard. This was our first time being at a Kentucky Owl event without Dixon Dedman there, so was like almost surreal because we've hung out with Dixon so many times, especially thanks to Whiskey Weekend, that seeing the brand there without him there to represent it,
and he's just a gem,
was weird. But
I think they're closed the page on one chapter and have turned the page to another as a brand,
while still honoring it, because it does.
So we still need to know about it.
It does talk about his family here on the back, but what's cool about this is this is a collaboration with Barstow Bourbon Company, some of their distillates in here, and then older distillate up to 6, 7, 8 years old, sourced from other places, is in here too. And the price point on this guy is going to be around, I want to say,
no, I forgot.
Yeah.
Well, they're supposed to be sending us. See, this is the problem when you have a 2 p.m.
It's all on the video.
Press event when you've been sipping since 10 a.m. And then when we got there, they were like, have cocktails. Now, I will say that was this event was really nice. The cocktails were not in short, and they had food as well. Mm-hmm. And so, like, every single time I finished, they had Manhattans and kind of like what was it, peach or pear? I can't remember.
Sort of like an old-fashioned.
Kind of an old-fashioned, but very refreshing. Yeah. And they kept bringing them around on trays. And so every time, the girl was so, like, convincing. She'd be like, are you sure you don't want another one? I was like, well, okay.
Yeah.
So by the time they actually got around to talking about it, I'm like, it might be a little fuzzy.
Anyway,
they did such a good job.
It's under 50. It'll be 50 or under.
50 or
which
under.
is a completely different price point for anything that has Kentucky Owl on the label. Now, this is
definitely
called
more
the Wiseman.
accessible.
Yeah, and their label, which I know you guys can't see super well because it never wants to not focus on our beautiful faces, but it also kind of represents the upcoming Kentucky Owl Park that they're building, so those elements are in there. And so we were told that these are like the only bottles out there right now, is what was given to press at this event. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, beautiful bottle embossed here on the sides, and it's 90 proof, or 90.8 proof. Actually, back to pretty good hug for a lower proofer.
I would say it hugged more like 100.
Yeah. So,
I
something to look
I feel
out
like
for.
it's something that we'll have to review individually when we haven't been sipping all day.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a really nice event. I mean, we were happy to be invited. So they're definitely going in a brand new direction with both this release and the park and everything. Mm-hmm. So emotionally, it is a little difficult to separate. But,
right, yeah,
we have to remain unbiased.
Right.
Yeah. And review the whiskey for you. Yeah. So we will do that.
A couple of super chats here. First one from Jeffrey. Move my mouse here so I can read.
Goodness, this is going down quickly.
Says, good evening, everyone. Enhanced my whiskey cart today with added shelf for better displaying.
Oh, we like it.
One day, I'll make my way to Kentucky Bourbon Festival. Cheers. Thank you, Jeffrey. Appreciate that. And then
a chat from Lisa.
Who we met
and got to hang out and have a drink with. More than one.
Yeah. We love meeting and hanging out with you both. I was really impressed with the Penelope bourbons I tried.
Yes,
yeah.
I definitely got their cards, and I was like, when can I do a barrel pick?
Yeah, these just don't.
These just don't clink. There we go. Yeah, very, very impressed with them. Those guys are super nice. So we hope to be able to... I got to spend a little time with them on Thursday night and just talk about their products and everything. But got their cards because, sometimes it's fuzzy. Sometimes we go to the tape. But yeah, looking forward to trying to do that.
So here's a good question from Todd. Talking about Wiseman here. Did they say it was going to be widely distributed? Yes, all 50. All 50 states is what I believe they are working up to. So this is going to be like, Kentucky Ale used to be very Kentucky or just the touching, those who touched Kentucky.
The state. The surrounding states.
But yeah, this will be the one that's going to be like out there and get the Kentucky Ale name to more places. Good question, Todd. Thank you.
Very good question.
Yeah. And then the other place that we went to off-site was, as you said, which, did I bring that bottle? I thought I did. Yeah.
What?
Logs Still.
Oh, yeah. I'm
Dance
like, we went
Crossing.
somewhere else?
Yes, we did. As you said, we thought it was going to be like a media event.
We thought it was a media invite.
Media invite
It
for
was.
two. Yeah.
For two. Which was actually really cool. I mean, we were only out there for about an hour and a half. But we got, literally we pulled up and Wally Dance just standing there like, hi, welcome. Honestly, that man is, every person I saw him walk up to, he knew. I don't think that guy knows any strangers. He was so welcoming and so kind. He basically took us on a private tour, told us his entire vision, showed us their renderings for all their other spaces. It's going to be really cool.
Sorry. You
want to interrupt me?
Well, no. Well, I mean, yes. But with the little bit delay in live, we're getting some questions relating back to our last topic. So before we get too much into dance, Scott Pigsley is asking if we watched the podcast's interview with Dixon. He felt so bad for him. He knew he wanted to say more, but couldn't for reasons. We haven't yet because
I haven't watched the full interview. I watched the recap.
Yeah, preparing for all that. So we haven't. And I was kind of saying that with Sarah this weekend. I was kind of like, before we do that review of Wiseman, we would like to actually talk to Dixon and just kind of get his thoughts and feelings of the brand moving forward without him as a presence there.
I'm sure there's a lot he can't say.
Yes. One, for information purposes, and two, just because it's sort of like talking to a friend, like, hey man, how do you feel? Like after a breakup or something. And,
right.
And I think a lot of people, and I'm kind of getting this idea from your take on it, Scott, feeling like that he was kind of like screwed out of something. But other people there that we were actually talking to, just like other media people, are like, well, he sold to Stoli. He had a 4-year term with them, and then his contract was up, and he was like, oh, think I've done my time.
Again,
so
we don't know. There's varying stories.
So we would love to actually, kind of just talk to him and see, obviously, what he can say.
I don't think you're going to get much more than what he can say that he said to the podcast.
I agree. But still, it's just,
But even
that parting news, like...
Sure. But, again, we try to remain unbiased and, to a degree, because it's still a product that's going to be sitting out there on the shelves that
people are
going to want to know about. So it's just, this is a larger topic for another time.
It is.
Yes.
It is. So, yeah, Dance Crossing. So, we had no idea. As you said, we hadn't been out there yet. We show up, Wally Dance there, he shows us around, and then they have this thing called the Amp, which is their amphitheater.
Which we're really excited about because they've booked a lot of 90s bands for the next couple of months.
We might get to see Everclear.
Which Chad's really excited about.
On my bucket list. I've always wanted to see Everclear because in the 90s, Sparkle and Fade, So Much for the Afterglow, those are my albums, man.
Yeah, so we might get to go to that.
And it's like a 2,000, 2,100 seat venue. It's the biggest venue in surrounding areas out there. And it's, super modern, great sound system, great seats, nice VIP area upstairs.
Tell us more about the music.
Music.
No, I'm just kidding. There's a lot about.
So that
Chad likes music.
Yeah, so that was a different experience from any other distillery, obviously.
Right, yeah.
That you go to.
They kind of rolled out the red carpet, and I was like,
yeah.
Do I have to call my mom and tell her, like, Mom, we did it.
We made it.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so...
It was kind of them.
We had some cocktails made with the Monk's Road here, and they had watched our review on it, and they kind of rolled out what they want to do and where they're going to go once they're able to, when they're making their own things. And our one thing about this was sort of the price point. And one, they weren't like, how'd you guys said, no, they were like, no, we hear you. And they're wanting, when their own stuff gets into production, have their price point come down. So hearing about their plan and where they want to go and what they're focusing on was really cool.
For sure.
That was really cool. And as you said, Sarah, in our review of this, it's like you go out there and you see the place and you
meet Wally
the
Dant.
people,
He spends the time with you.
and you get the hospitality.
Gives you his history.
And then you're like, yes, I will buy a bottle. Completely understand that now after being there.
Well, it's like forming a bond. Like when
Yeah.
anybody, it's kind of similar to the way that people feel about Dixon and their loyalty to him. Like when you form a bond with either the distiller or the distillery or their story or what have you, I think that's what but it gets that loyalty kind of embedded in. So I think if you see this in the liquor store, you might be like, well, why would I pay that much versus something else? But when you go out there and you have that experience and you meet the people and you hear their story and their vision, I think you're more likely to say, okay, I will pay more because, they're sourcing it now and that is more expensive and that's why it costs more. But like, I want to contribute my dollars for something that is good. Even if it's more than I would like to pay.
Because you believe in their vision.
The future of this company. And so, again, I think it's totally personal preference. If you are invested in that way, then you see it and you get it. And if you're not, then like we said, there's lots of other things on the shelf, Yeah,
totally.
But I would recommend going out there to anybody.
I like this comment from Joseph Brazo. Lizard watched her birthday shout out from last weekend and said, damn, Sarah's hot. I told her, well,
Lizard!
Chad's really nice too.
What a nice girl. I always liked her. I don't feel it this weekend. I'm like,
Edward, come on, man.
Well, you all could have differing opinions.
Jam. Yeah, that's fine. We're not talking about the drink Everclear. Someone said they drank that in the 80s. But Better Than Ezra's coming out there.
Yes.
And Gin Blossoms.
So we were like, unfortunately, we're going to be out of town those 2 weekends. Otherwise, we would go. But.
Yeah. And the tour that's coming with Everclear, where are the other bands?
I don't remember.
Wheatus.
Yes. Some other one that you really were excited about?
Cult of Personality band.
Vision or Light or... I don't know. Anyways, they're not here to hear about that.
Well...
It's on there. If you're interested, go to the Dant Crossing webpage and you can see their stuff. Yeah. Anyways, Sean Dobbins said he only buys our picks because he feels the bond with us. That's very kind.
There you go.
And JG says drink more Everclear, which is the message that Chad put out, not the message he intended. In living color, yes.
In living color, thank you. Brothers of the Barrel, hey Chad, it was very nice meeting you at Bourbon's Bistro a few weeks back. Likewise, yeah. That was an amazing night, and I still haven't told that story, but tonight's not the night.
Tonight's not the night.
Yeah, we have more to get through. So that was really cool. They're also doing a restaurant. They've got
I'm excited about the restaurant.
A few Airbnbs,
some event space,
and the space they have out there was like 600 acres or something crazy.
Gorgeous.
Just like.
Like we're just like
picturesque.
Walking back to our car, looking out, and the sun's going down behind a hillside with cows grazing, and I was like, "Well, if this isn't picturesque, I don't know what is."
Yeah.
But it was really nice. And I would also recommend another place that we ate at twice while we were there. Because, like, they did have a few food trucks. I think they intended to have more, but then some COVID things jammed up the works, and they didn't end up having as many food trucks as they had planned to. So we ended up walking over. I mean, obviously, everybody knows about Mammy's. If you've been to Bardstown, that's normally a restaurant we could recommend. We did eat there on Thursday for lunch. But we went to Scout and Scholar, which is just a block or two away from Mammy's, and not far at all from the festival grounds. 5-10 minute walk, maybe. Food was so good, and they had their own barrel picks. It's like mainly beer focused, and I think that's why we hadn't been before. But
we hadn't heard of it before.
Well, I had heard of it, but I thought it was just a beer place, and so we hadn't been. And it was so good. Their burgers were amazing.
I had a lamb burger.
Yeah, I had their pretzel. It was
fries were really
warm
good.
Pretzel. Very tasty.
No, I got the tots.
You got tots. Yeah.
Ooh, the tots.
They were truffle tots.
Oh.
Anyways, we recommend it.
One thing we should talk about was there were a few distilleries not there, and why. So, Old Forester was not represented.
Wild
Turkey was not represented.
Buffalo Trace.
Buffalo Trace. They were in the VIP, and Sazerac was represented there with 1792 Barton. Right. But yeah, there wasn't like a Buffalo Trace tent on the grounds. And then of course Heaven Hill, because they're on strike right now.
But what I will say is, like, all of the Heaven Hill workers who were striking were very organized. They had their flyers, they had all matching shirts, like this neon orange with like Heaven Hill on strike support local 23D, I think is what it was.
So, yeah.
And we're still, in and around the festival grounds, but when they did on Saturday, they did the World Championship Bourbon Barrel Relay Race, which is like a big deal in the community, and is a lot of fun to watch. So again, if you ever decide to go, I highly recommend watching it. Like, I was not invested at all. I didn't care who won, but man, every time somebody competed, I was like yelling and cheering for them and clapping. It was so fun to just watch their team support them. I got very excited.
Yeah.
But all of the Heaven Hill people like showed up and were kind of tailgating out there by the like cheering all the other teams from other distilleries on, which Heaven Hill normally, they take it really serious. They have like a course built on their campus at Heaven Hill, and they practice because they win a lot. Yeah. And it was just so nice to see. Oh
yeah, Woodford wasn't there.
To see them still come out and support. Well, I mean, because Old Forester wasn't there, so I'm going to guess it was just a whole Brown-Forman decision.
It was a Brown-Forman thing.
Some people said it was because of COVID precautions. Some other people said it was because of lack of staffing right now, or they couldn't get enough staff who were testing negative.
Or a mixture of both.
Or both. We don't know.
Yeah.
But that's the story.
I have to address this because people won't stop talking about it. Living Color, not In Living Color. That's the show. Living Color is,
The band.
The band. This is funny. Embellish Podcast. As we were walking in Saturday morning, Chad and Sarah walked by us on the sidewalk, and my wife was like, "Hey, those two look familiar."
We were in our ready to be out in the sun, hot and sweaty clothes.
Yeah, we were on a mission.
It wasn't the same as being in the comfortable air conditioning of this room. It was quite toasty.
VIP that Trev was saying, wait, Buffalo Trace was only in VIP. Who would have guessed? I mean, I don't think it was that, but they did have like Mixtures 10 was being poured up there, and there was some nice, kind of 1792 Foolproof was.
We did get to try the Basil Hayden toast.
Yeah, that's fine.
I was not a fan.
Well, yeah, and
it was like my first pour of the morning.
What did? We got to. Have we already talked about Toasted Barrel, Michter's Toasted Barrel? Did we already say that?
No,
okay.
You didn't.
Yeah, we got to try the new Michter's Toasted Barrel, which is amazing. It's, I mean, I had to try it side by side, but I thought it was better than the last release of it. The other thing that we got to try, I don't know if we can talk about it.
Why?
Starts with a P. Yeah, I don't know.
Time it on your phone.
You just never know.
I don't know what you're talking about. Kimber said, I'll say though, the space was very limited. Not sure where they could have set up. Yeah, they did like box things in more to consolidate them this year. I think to just keep it to ticketed members only. Why not?
Yeah, I guess it wasn't like
The label's released.
super. Yeah, I guess it was released that day, so we got to try the Peerless Double Oak.
Which, yum.
Yum.
Yum, yum, yum.
Oh, dark, syrupy, rich.
Very syrupy, very rich, but tasty.
Even
tasty
out
stuff.
there sweating.
I was like, may I have some more?
Yeah. Oh, that was.
It was good.
Yes. Seek that out.
And John's always nice to us from Peerless. He was on our stream doing our pick, which should be coming out soon.
Yeah.
TBD, but we have a Peerless pick that's lined up that's coming out soon. And
Yeah.
and as always, patrons get the first crack, and whatever's left, if any, will be released via Instagram.
Mm-hmm. We did do a little podcast recording with the Scotchy Bourbon Boys.
Scotchy Bourbon Boys.
Yeah, it was cool to meet them.
They had a tent set up.
And we so look for us on one of their upcoming episodes that probably just about the coverage of the festival. So I know we kind of been bouncing around, but that's fine. But Saturday, was there anything?
I mean, I think
Saturday was
the same thing as Friday, except for finishing up the craft interviews and footage and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. I was thinking of something else that I was going to say. Now I can't remember. Scotty Holmes wants to know about the Nulu Toasted. We're going on a barrel pick this Friday for Nulu.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what the turnaround time on that's going to look like, but
it'll be this year.
It's in the works. Yeah,
we
should at least have the Peerless, the Wilderness Trails, that, and then maybe the Woodinville this year?
Woodinville, probably not the Jim Beam.
Yeah, the Knob Creek.
The Knob Creek.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. That'll be probably 2022.
It's picked, but...
And we're already working on, scheduling.
Next
We've
year.
got Yellowstone, which we got to talk to Stephen Beam and Stephen Fonte for a while. I heard him pronounce it Fonte, and I've always said Fontaine.
Yeah.
So
he's great.
Yeah.
They're both nice.
They're both super, super nice. So it was great to talk with them.
We talked about their dogs a lot.
Yeah, a lot about their dogs. Yeah.
Everybody, I just love. I miss, being with people like in that sense and just getting to mingle and mosey around and, I don't know, taste things and talk about it. Just nice. And to see all the people that we got to see like throughout the time who would come up and say, it's so sweet. People would be like, I don't want to bug you, but I just want to say I love your show. I'm like, you're not bugging me.
No.
Please tell me how much you love me.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No. I would never
act
like that.
And now they probably all know why I was repeating their names back to them, because I was like, got it.
We're just like, lock it in.
Yeah, because I wanted to do that, because, if they're going to take the time to come up and say hey to us, I want to at least give them a shout out here on the live.
I'd say the worst, that's kind of one of our bad habits is if I don't repeat it, 2 seconds later, Chad will be like, wait, what was it again? And he'll be like, I don't know. And that's a terrible habit. Yeah. It's a huge character flaw.
It's bad.
It's bad. Los Angeles TV wants to know what happens if you get to your pick date and neither of you love the choices. What are your options at that point? You can tell them. You can say...
You can refuse a pick.
Yeah, you can say, whether it's virtual or in person, you can say, none of these are working for us and we're not comfortable with taking them. And they'll either say, all right, we'll just go our separate ways, or they'll say, let us get you
some more.
some more.
Luckily, we haven't
been in that position yet. But, we talked about doing, we're friends with the people at Justin's House of Bourbon, and we've talked with them about it before. And actually, we've asked that question before, and they say, oh, yeah.
All the time.
If you...
Well, not all the time.
Not all the time, but it's not irregular to get somewhere and say, none of these are working for us. What can we do? And they sort it out. Because nobody wants you to be unhappy.
Speaking of Justin's House of Bourbon.
Speaking of them.
We picked up... they had a bottle shop out there, and they were doing their picks. They had Blanton's all the way down to...
So that's why the line started
else.
2 hours ahead of when they actually opened. As soon as the grounds opened, there was a line for Justin's. Even though... It opened at 10 and the bottle shop didn't open till noon. Yeah. People stood in that hot sun. I'm like, so they deserve it.
When it died down, because we didn't have time to be standing in no lines, we went and we picked up this Maker's Pick, which we hear is exceptional. So looking forward to
it was the staff
open up.
It was the employee recommendation.
Yeah. So it's 108.9 proof. It's got some 2 baked American pure staves, 4 seared French cuvee staves, 1 Maker's Mark 46 stave, and then 3 roasted French Mendant.
Nobody knows
Mendiant.
Mendiant.
Yeah, one of those.
I've never heard that word before.
None of the toasted French spice. None for you.
Yeah, this is obviously on our bottle wish list, so we'd love to get a pic of this, but we'll see.
Oh, yes, thank you, Joseph Brazo. We also went out to Barstown Bourbon Company.
Oh, yeah, that was Thursday afternoon.
3 bottles there, so we picked up Discovery number 6.
Who's surprised?
We picked up Fusion Series number 6, and we picked up the Triple Stave, which, they're all out there, which luckily we got to try it first.
It's distillery only.
Blew our hair back.
It was amazing. If you're going to be in Kentucky in the next few weeks and you get a chance, it is expensive, but I think if you ask real nice, they have pours available behind the bar.
Yeah.
And they, you can get a taste before you, because they are expensive, so if you want to spend the money, but...
Ooh, phonetic spelling.
Excellent.
Mendiant?
Mendiant. I like that.
Okay.
Embellish podcast. How do you know me?
Mendiant. And then Joey Tony, bag of donuts. I feel like I've been hogging them tonight, Sarah. You go ahead, please.
Says, well, these old fashions are hitting the spot. You're right, Sarah. Cocktails just hit different. It gets me in the eyes. Like, behind my eyes, I'm like, oh,
this one...
feeling pretty good.
I guess probably because
It's more of a body buzz.
Yeah, I worked on it all episode, but...
He said, I used Elijah Craig rye, and I'm feeling like it was an Elijah Craig barrel proof. Yeah, cocktails are just a different thing, so...
Thank you.
Speaking of Embellish Podcast, wants to know if we tried the Ferrand, right? The Ferrand, it's down.
No.
4th from the bottom. There we go. Which is the cognac finish. We did try it. And while we did like it, we were basically like, okay, we know we're getting the new Fusion and we know we're getting the new Discovery. And so we had to choose between, because you can't have it all.
Yeah.
And so it was really good. But in our minds,
liked our choice.
The Armagnac is like king. And so I know that's a tough competition, but we had to choose. And so we chose the triple stave finish
that reminded
to go home with.
I don't know if I put Tony on here, so Tony also.
Yeah, I don't think you did. I don't think I did. Who's now local to us, so we will hang out some more, and then Chad will never forget to mention you.
That's right. So this is the Castle and Key bourbon, again from those samples we brought home from our Pinhook.
Put this away so it's
from our Pinhook. What do they call that session?
Get Vertical? No, that was the
Whiskey Data.
Nope. That's not it. It was called Blending and something.
Blending and shit.
I don't remember.
What it was called, I think.
Don't ask me. Let me look. It was called Taste... Nope, that's not it. It was called Single Barrels and Blends, a Comparison. And that was with Sean Josephs. Yes, he was nice.
So it's really good to see how tasty this stuff is at just 2 years old and where it can go.
Yes.
Looking forward to some Castle and Key bourbon.
For sure.
For sure.
Sean Dobbins once said, it's Bourbon Night meetup at Frankfurt Avenue Liquor and Wine in Louisville. Great bourbon selection. Chad went there a few weeks ago while I was out of town, and I was very jealous. So I think we will have to arrange that.
Yeah, that was the same day as my awesome Bourbon Bistro story.
That was not the same day?
No, you're right. That's what I wanted.
I hope no.
That's what I wanted to do, but ran out of time that night. You're right. Yeah, that was a different day.
I was like, that's not true.
You're right. Yeah, I was like, out of town? You're over at Peggy No Stevens.
That's not that night. A different night.
It's a different night, yeah.
I was still jealous.
But we did try the Discovery 6, and I like it better than 5.
Michael said he told you to go there a month ago. We remembered that we've been making a point to try to get up there.
Yep.
And so Chad got to go, but I did not.
Right.
So I have been meaning to go, and so I think a meetup is a fine idea.
Met one of the owners. He was really cool. Yeah, it's a great place.
This is doing its job. So they say hot toddies are good if you're sick because they will help relax you and ease your...
I'm relaxed.
You know, if you have any scratchy throat or anything like that. Mine's just voice issues, but it is working. I'm feeling very sleepy, and I'm losing my talking energy.
Well, I think we have covered the...
Does anyone have any questions, I guess? You know, we would love to go back and cover it again next year. I'd love to see how they... You know, I feel like they got new board members this year. They're taking it in a new direction.
Yes.
Obviously, like anything else, they've met challenges. They have ways that they already want to improve for next year. We have some thoughts on how they can improve next year. And honestly, the head of the board asked us to give thoughts. So we're gonna have this card and we're going to chat about that.
Try to put a meeting on the books, as they say. But
because
you said challenges. It made me think. Beautiful challenge coin came with the wee Karens that they gave you
when you checked in.
When you checked in, so
very
that
nice.
was very nice. You went
well, that may have just been for certain tiers of like ticket holders. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I did think I saw some coins up at the general place, but you probably had to have you maybe had to have a certain wristband for that. But
Gotcha.
Yeah, I did see them at both places. But let's see. New to bourbon hunting scene, when do stores typically get their antique collection allocations?
I feel
After
like
lots
it's
of praying?
Normally starts at the end of September. I feel like it was late September last year.
Getting close to that
or
time.
Or early October, so we're getting close.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Did they announce next year's dates? Todd wants to know. It is on their website. If you go to KentuckyBourbonFestival.com.
It was on their bottles of water.
Every bottle of water had their sticker to save the date for next year.
11th through 14th or something.
I don't think that's right. I think it's like the 22nd through something. I don't know. You know, we drank so many bottles of water. I feel like I should have memorized that, but I did not.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Dang.
Jeremiah Johnson wants to know if I've tried the Down Home 13. I have not.
That's in that.
I tried
that new weirder looking bottle, right?
Wait, but they do the Down Home like the Eagle Rare happy-ish
but this one's
bottle.
more like a zip.
Really? I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
So I'll be on the lookout for it.
Yeah.
Intriguing. Kimber also appreciated the coin.
Yeah.
Glenn's Creek is doing some things, says Susan. Yes, we've heard that they're also doing a lot of contract work for other distilleries. So we have not been out there, and we should get out there. That's in Owensboro.
Green River?
Glenn's Creek.
Glenn's Creek, then there's Green River.
Right, but Green River... Am I thinking of the wrong one?
Yeah, I think the Green River is the used to be OZ Tyler. That's
Green River.
They're the ones who are doing the contract. Now there's
interesting. Glenn's Creek, is that
that's out in our neck of the woods.
Yes, and
Woodford
it used to be
County.
the old Crow Distillery, right?
Yes,
or right next to there.
No, it is old. Yeah.
Gotcha.
The old Crow. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, those are hard. Those are easy to get mixed up. But yeah, as Sarah said, I think these hot toddies have done the job, and I think now it's just time for us to
go to sleep.
And wake up tomorrow ready to get at it.
And fill some orders.
Fill those orders.
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something to wake up to.
John has a question about bitters, but that's all I know.
Ask away, John.
What's your question about bitters? How bitter are they?
Don't be sassy.
Yeah,
to
Green
be
River
perfectly
is in
honest,
Owensboro, Kentucky.
We don't have a ton of knowledge about bitters other than the flavors that we do and do not like. And we are all bourboned out, says Michael, and that is correct.
Yeah.
I am ready for a dry day
Yeah.
or a couple of days if possible.
Yeah.
You know, when it's work, I can't really say no, but yeah, I'm going to take it easy. Can't wait to sleep in my own bed tonight. So it was a good trip, though. Looking forward to it again next year, and hopefully we get to see more of you guys out there.
Will you be bringing the Bardstown Bourbon Company Armagnac finish to the meetups in the future?
If I had any,
Yeah, if we had it. We never got that one.
We don't have any. It's the one of the only ones that we don't have, and it's a tragedy and just very unfortunate. But it's long gone. They have more laid down that's finishing right now, but it won't be ready for another year or two.
Oh, I asked it earlier. We must have missed it. Besides about tiki, what have been your favorite types and brands?
Black walnut bitters.
Yes.
I can't remember the brand, but it's the one that's like wrapped in the white paper. And I can't recall the brand off the top of my head.
It's like McPhee, but not McPhee. It's like...
Truthfully, those are my two favorites.
Yeah.
Black walnut bitters and tiki bitters. Black walnut's definitely more of like a wintry, cozy... I don't know. It's very good.
Wild Turkey?
World's Top Whiskey Taster. still TBD. We don't know. We're
Yeah.
waiting to see if we make it for the Atlanta regionals, and if we don't, then that just means somebody else submitted better videos than us. Which, while I would be disappointed to not be able to compete, it might be difficult to explain to all the people who did enter who are not on YouTube why the two of the however many limited slots went to us.
Yes,
It might feel a little rigged.
I don't know.
We have just as much a chance as everybody else,
Yeah.
so we'll see what happens.
Do you guys post a list of your future meetups?
We post them when we know.
When we know, yeah. Especially now with, all the restrictions and stuff. It's really just been, we have one planned right now, which is going to be in November.
November, yes. We actually have 2 spots left.
Yeah.
It could either be a couple together or 2 individuals. We could post more about that on our Patreon. If you're interested, email us at itsbourbonnight@gmail.com. We can send you the details. It'll probably be tomorrow afternoon. It is expensive, but it includes most of your meals. It includes special event at Bardstown Bourbon Company, a welcome dinner with a surprise distillery guest, transportation all day on Saturday of the weekend, and several other things that we have lined up that are special. So we have 2 spots left. We unfortunately had someone that had to cancel. Totally understandable. Honestly, I'm surprised that more people haven't had to cancel for various reasons at this point. But if you're interested, shoot us an email. It's bourbonnight@gmail.com.
And our next meetup will actually probably be Whiskey Weekend.
After that. The dates on the one I just talked about were November 11th through the 14th.
So Whiskey Weekend will be in March.
Good bourbon drinking weather.
Yeah.
Nice and chilly. The trees will have just changed. It'll be great.
So Angostura isn't the brand of the black walnut, is it?
People were commenting Fee Brothers up above.
Fee Brothers, not
Yes.
McPhee.
Fee Brothers.
Yeah, Fee
yes.
Brothers.
A couple people commented that. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There you go. All right, everybody. That'll do it. We'll be back next Sunday with a peppier live stream.
Much peppier.
Thanks for hanging out with us and just letting us kind of recover from the wonderful weekend that was the Kentucky Bourbon Festival.
That went down the wrong way.
We'll also have a produced episode on Friday, so be looking out for that. So,
and be on the lookout for that Makers F802.
oh my,
Just saying.
yes.
If you haven't seen that episode,
Ooh, so good. So
we like
good.
it. It's perfect for fall weather. So
I guess I'll just start by
closing them lights down.
closing down shop
Don't
here.
play closing time.
I don't have the rights.
We don't have the rights.
Yeah. But thanks so much, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Sweet drams, says Kilco.
Sweet drams.